Welcome to the new episode of BCD Tech. In this episode, I will disassemble Google Nexus 5. I am Dr. BC and you are watching BCD Tech. This is my Google Nexus 5 recently purchased from Google Play India. For my previous video on this phone, please click on the link flashing on your screen. In this video, I will disassemble this phone. To disassemble Google Nexus 5, you will need a plastic separation tool. You will need a hard plastic to remove back cover or battery, or you can use a guitar pick or something similar to it. For separating Wi-Fi, GPS and small component inside your Nexus 5, you need a sharp end tweezer or a flat tweezer. You will also need a small Phillips screwdriver. To start disassembly, make sure Nexus 5 is completely shut down. Once it's shut down, use sharp pin to remove SIM tray. You can see the Nexus is turning on automatically. Let's turn off it again. Make sure Nexus 5 is turned off completely before proceeding to this disassembly process. Now Nexus is shut down completely. Use sharp plastic tool to separate the back cover. Notice the back is held by clips. So starting with at the top, insert this sharp plastic in between this rear cover and phone and gently try to unlock these clips. You will hear the unlocking sound of this clip. It is very easy to unlock these clips. You will find it is hard to release the bottom clip. Now left it. Now again start at top and proceed toward the another end. Again you will find the last bottom clip is hard to release because there is a adhesive which is holding this bottom clip. For that, try to release this adhesive. Once this adhesive is released, you can unlock the clips at bottom. There are total 3 clips at the bottom. Insert the plastic tool and unlock these 3 bottom clips. The back cover is now separated from the phone. This is your rear cover. Let's see the parts on this back cover. This is your GPS antenna. This is MIMO antenna with 2 connecting pads. This is your Wi-Fi Bluetooth antenna with single connecting pad. This is your wireless and NFC antenna connecting pads. This is your vibrator motor. This is flash lens. This 4 metal is to hold this phone to your wireless charging station. This is your double-sided adhesive. This is your IMEI number. First of all, I will hide this IMEI number. If you are replacing the back cover and your back is not come with this antenna, so you have to transfer this antenna to your new back. Use your flat tweezer to lift this antenna pad from rear cover. Once it is sufficiently lifted up, use your fingertip to separate this antenna pad from the rear cover. Take care while pulling it out from upper end because flex is very thin there. This is your GPS antenna. Now let's take this apart. In similar fashion, you can also take out this MIMO antenna. I am not taking out this MIMO antenna or this Bluetooth antenna. Now you can use a sharp plastic tool to remove this vibrator motor. You use this tweezer, sharp tweezer, to lift this vibrator motor. This vibrator motor is now lifted up. The model number of this vibrator motor is EAU620. Take this aside. If your new rear cover doesn't come with this NFC or wireless charging antenna, you have to transfer it from here. You can use your flat tweezer to lift this PCB. Once you get sufficient space, use your fingertips to lift this NFC PCB. You can also use hot air to lose the adhesive. This is your NFC and wireless charging antenna. You can see that this pad is for wireless charging. These two pads here is for wireless charging, and these two pads is for NFC antenna. Right, now let's take this aside. You can lift this metal pads by sharp tweezer. You can also use hot air to lose this adhesive and then pick up this metal pad. I will use a flat tweezer to pick up this metal pad. This metal pads is used to stick wireless charger to your phone. Now this metal pad is lifted up. I will place it back so I cannot lose this during disassembly and assembly process. Now take this back cover aside. Now see the battery. It is BL-T9 2300 mAh battery. It is lithium polymer battery with 3.8 volt. Removing this battery is by removing this front plastic. Make sure that your Nexus 5 is turned off completely. Unscrew these 6 silver flip screws from this plastic. Make sure all of this 6 screw is out from this back cover. Use your flat tweezer to lift the plastic. Now plastic is lifted up. If you want, you can use plastic separation tool to lift off this plastic. Now plastic is lifted up. This metal jack is a shielding. Press here to release the camera lens. To release the battery, disconnect this ribbon connector here. Never use your metal to release this ribbon connector. This may short your battery terminal. Use your plastic, a hard plastic, to release this battery connector. Now RTC is preserved by this small button battery on the motherboard. To remove the bottom PCB which contains USB microphone, remove these 4 screws. This 4 screw has same dimension. Now gently lift this board. This board contains 3G antenna pads. This is your 3G antenna, 4G antenna pads. This is your 4G antenna. This is your loudspeaker pads, and this is your main loudspeaker with protecting mesh. Let's take this board aside. On the bottom PCB you will find 4G antenna pad. This is your 3G antenna connector. This is your LCD ribbon connector. To take out bottom PCB, disconnect this 3G antenna connectors. Use tweezer. Disconnect this LCD ribbon connector and 4G antenna cable. The bottom PCB is connected to main board by this flex cable. Release this flex cable here. Once it get disconnected, gently lift this bottom PCB. There is adhesive tape at the USB corner which is holding tricolor LED. Gently lift it up. Take care while lifting this up. Now again take care at the other end of this PCB. The bottom PCB is now separated out from this phone. This is LCD connector. The LCD comes out here. This is your 4G antenna connecting pads. This is your 3G antenna connecting pads. This is your loudspeaker connecting pads. This is notification tricolor LED. Now to remove this plastic from this bottom PCB, insert tweezer in between PCB and plastic, or you can use a plastic tool for this. lift this plastic board and separate tricolor LED from this plastic board. This is tricolor LED. This is your main microphone. This is charging and data syncing port. Let's take this aside. Now to separate the battery, you will place a plastic tool below this battery and try to lift it up. Use your hard flat metal tweezer to lift this battery up. The battery is now lifted up. You can see the battery is held by this adhesive. Now it's time to remove this antenna cable. Gently lift this antenna cable and try to separate it from motherboard. You can use your sharp tweezer for that. Now to remove this, you have to disconnect this camera. You cannot take out camera from this at this time because there is some parts below this motherboard. Just unplug this ribbon connector. Also ribbon connector from this front camera. This ribbon connector is for NFC and wireless charging circuit. Now try to lift the motherboard. Use your fingernail for lifting, or you can use your plastic tool for the same. Take care while lifting the motherboard. Try from all sides of this motherboard. This motherboard is held by the clips. Try to separate out from all of this end. Now you can see that motherboard is now lifting up. This is your main motherboard. This is your main NFC and wireless charging PCB. If you see the model number is EAX65371-601, and this IC underneath this is (20793M) KML4G25. This PCB is stick to your metal shield. To remove this PCB, you have to separate this metal shield from this main board. First of all, unplug the ribbon connector. Use your sharp plastic tool to separate the metal shield from main board. Once it's separated, use a sharp tweezer to lift the PCB from this metal shield. Gently insert it in between PCB and metal. I am using this flat tweezer. Put it in between this PCB and metal shield and gently try to lift it up. Take care while lifting. There is tiny small ICs on the PCB. Take time to separate this PCB. This is NFC and wireless charging PCB. This metal shield is shielded. I will show you. This metal shield is shielded, so it cannot be separated without heat. To separate the rear metal shield, use sharp tool to separate this metal shield. Make sure you are wearing this ASD protecting wristband. It is better to use plastic tool which is ASD safe. Lift it from all sides. Now it is separated. Make sure there is no water trap in between this shield. This is your main motherboard. Let's take this aside and move towards this LCD frame. Now to remove the rear camera, gently try to lift it from its flex cable. You can also use your plastic tool for this. Try to pull it from this ribbon cable. Now the camera is take out. I want to reuse this adhesive tape, so make sure it is remain as. Now let's see this camera. You can see that it has optical image stabilization. The part number is Y475A and there are double axis gyro sensor on this camera. ICs are 8111B3EG1M 1Y222645D1. These are double axis gyro sensor for optical image stabilization. To remove front camera from this rear cover, try to lift it with this flex cable, or you can use a sharp plastic tool. I am trying to lifting it from this flex cable, or you can use a sharp plastic tool to taking out this front camera. Oh, I have broken this front camera. Now let's see what happens. Actually, I think the camera module is separated from this lens assembly. I will fix it later. Take care while lifting this front camera. Use hot air to loosen the adhesive and then try to lift. This is very sensitive part, so take care. Now let's try to reassemble. Now let's take this aside. To remove this headphone socket, insert a sharp plastic inside this hole and gently lift it up. This is a very standard headphone socket. Use sharp plastic to lift the speaker from front bezel. This is your main speaker. Part number is KRP3AP KRP3AP. To remove the secondary microphone gasket, use sharp tool and gently lift it from the front bezel. This is secondary microphone gasket. This gasket is for proximity sensor. Nothing on this side. This is your LCD flex connector. Now first of all, lift this microphone gasket, that is your main microphone gasket, from this front bezel. You can use this sharp plastic tool to separate out this gasket from your front bezel, that is your main microphone gasket. Now let's try to separate out this PCB from this front bezel. Gently pull it up from this ribbon connector. Okay, I am out of frame. Now this LCD PCB is lifted from this back bezel. Now to separate this LCD, you will require to hit this frame and try to lift this LCD from this back bezel. I will show you how to separate this LCD from this back bezel in my upcoming videos. Now see whether there is a hole behind this camera to push this LCD out. No, there is nothing. You can push this LCD from this back bezel from this front camera hole. Oh, my front camera is broken. You can press this LCD from this hole. Now let's take this front bezel apart. Now let's see the parts on this motherboard. Now first of all, I have to take out this metal shield. Use your sharp tweezer to separate out this metal frame. Now I will show you the component on this motherboard. This is your MAMO antenna connection pad, that is your Wi-Fi Bluetooth connecting pad. Now I will show you the IC. This IC is RF1110. This is couple of components. That is your test pad for MAMO antenna. That is your Bluetooth, Wi-Fi and 4G section, the RF section. That is your 4G test point. That is your main LED flash. That is very tiny component, very hard to read. Now let's see whether I am able to read this IC number. That is your Qualcomm power management IC PM8841. This is 6093 SK2. That is your M651. That is accelerometer and gyro sensor. That small IC is electronic compass. That is your test pad for GPS antenna. That is your sensor. that is your WIR1605L, that is a 4G 3G edge transceiver, that your Sandisk 32 gigabit main memory. There are lot of IC, very difficult to read their IC number. This IC is SPHOPF03, that is O or Q, it is very difficult to see. That is your AVAGO AVAGO RF1137, that is RF amplifier. This is 92A72SG, that is your ESR2XT, that is your pad for vibrator motor. This is test pad for MAMO antenna, this is for GPS antenna, this is for 3G antenna, and this is for 4G antenna. Nothing more on the front of this motherboard. Now let's see the rear of this motherboard. You will find a SIM tray. This SIM tray can be removed by heating all of these contact pads by hot air. This IC is PM8941, that is a power management IC from Qualcomm. This is Sk Hynix DDR RAM, that is 2 gigabit, and a Snapdragon 800 processor is underneath this DDR RAM. You will find this processor below this RAM. This is AVAGO ACPM7600, the GSM Edge power amplifier, and this IC is, this small IC is 0FF1100, and this is JQCJ DPP. This is AVAGO A5805. This is L774FQ. This is AV019307. This is BQ24192, that is a battery charging IC. Okay, this is a SIM, that is a SIM port ANX7808, that is a SIM port transmitter. That is your WCD9320, that is a audio DAC IC, that is your audio DAC IC. That is your sticker. That is your sensor board. This sensor board contains a proximity and a light sensor. This is a secondary microphone for noise cancellation. You will find no pinhole on this board, so the microphone is capturing the audio from the front. This is a rear view of this motherboard with RAM, processor, SIM tray, secondary microphone. Now let's take this aside. Now I will show you the parts view of this Nexus 5. This is your main battery, that is your GPS antenna. that is your vibrator motor, SIM tray, NFC, that is back cover, camera lens plastic, couple of screws, antenna plastic, that is PCB, bottom PCB plastic, that is your metal shields, headphone socket, that is your rubber gasket, that is your NFC PCB, that is your bottom PCB, main camera, that is your main motherboard, and that is your LCD bezel, and that is your antenna cables. This is your complete part view of Nexus 5. Now I will move towards the assembly process. First of all, I will assemble this motherboard. For assembling this motherboard, I have to assemble the metal shield. First of all, I will take this metal sheet and align this NFC and wireless charging PCB on it. You have to align this hole. With respect to this hole, you have to place this hole on this points. Align this. Once you are happy with this alignment, gently press this PCB on this metal shield. This is contact port for NFC and wireless charging port. Place this metal shield on your main motherboard. Align it that your main real-time clock battery. Now align this metal shield with your motherboard. Once you are happy with this alignment, gently press this metal shield and connect this ribbon connector. Now it's time to place the rear metal shield. Again align it. Once you are happy with this alignment, gently press. Now gently press this metal shield from all of this end. Once you are happy with this alignment, take this motherboard apart. Now it's time to align the parts on this front housing plate. First of all, I will align this headphone socket. Now it's time to place this receiver speaker. Now okay, I am placing in wrong direction. You have to place these pads on the left side. Now it is placed back. Now it's time to place this microphone gasket. First of all, I will place this second microphone. Make sure that this pinhole is facing up. Once it get aligned, press it by this plastic tool. Now it's time to place this main microphone gasket. Before that, gently press this PCB back to its place, and now place this primary microphone gasket in this front bezel. Once you happy with this alignment, gently press it back. Also press this LCD PCB. Now align this double-sided adhesive so that you can place your rear camera here. Now, okay, it is not aligned properly. Okay, now the camera is fitted to this front bezel. Now it times to align this front camera. Okay, now it's time to place this motherboard back to front bezel. Once you happy with this alignment, press this motherboard back. Also try to align this front camera and connect this ribbon connector to main motherboard. Now it's time to connect this ribbon connector for this rear camera. Gently press this motherboard from all of this side. Okay, all of these things are aligned properly. Now it's time to place this battery back. Gently align from the bottom and then push this battery back to this front bezel. Don't connect the ribbon connector of that battery to the main board. Okay, I have missed this metal shield. Now align and gently press from all of this side. Now I will place this bottom PCB. Before that I have to place this plastic back to this bottom PCB. Make sure this PCB and this plastic align properly. Oh, now it is aligned. Once you are happy with alignment, then place this tricolor LED back to this plastic and once it is aligned, gently press this LED back. Now it's time to place this bottom PCB inside your front bezel. Just start with inserting this USB mini port and then pushing this PCB. Once you are happy with this alignment, press the PCB down to this front bezel. Once it get aligned, it's time to connect this ribbon connector with your main motherboard. Before that you have to connect this LCD connector. Make sure all of these stuffs are placed properly. Now connect this ribbon connector to your motherboard. Now it is connected. In similar fashion, you can connect this LCD ribbon connector to this bottom PCB. Okay, I have to align. Okay, now it is connected. Make sure all of this stuff is clearly attached. Now it's time to connect this antenna flex cable. Just start with connecting at main motherboard. Once it connected, gently push it back in your front bezel by this sharp plastic tool, and then connect another end to this bottom PCB. Now it's time to connect this antenna cable. Again start from this motherboard end. Once it get connected, then use the sharp tool to align properly in front bezel. Now connect the second end to your bottom PCB. Okay, it is quite difficult to connect this. Okay, now it is connected. Make sure this antenna flex cable is properly inserted in your front bezel. Now it's time to place this antenna back. Align it properly. Once it aligned, put this fourth screw back. Now this bottom antenna is connected. Now it's time to connect this battery. Now battery is connected. Now place this camera lens plastic back to the phone. Align it properly and gently press through all of this end. Now it is aligned and well settled with your front bezel. Now it's time to place this 6 screw back. Once it get aligned, now your front plate is ready. Now it's time to put the parts back to your rear bezel. Now first of all you have to place this vibrator motor back. It is very easy to place it back. Now second thing I will place is the NFC and the wireless charging antenna back to this rear bezel. Just align. Okay, I have tried to align with respect to this antenna cutouts. Oh, I think I have not aligned properly this connecting pads. So let's try with aligning with this connecting pad itself. Once it get aligned, now okay, now it is aligned. Now gently press this NFC and wireless antenna back to your rear bezel, and once you are happy with this alignment, it's time to place this GPS antenna back. You have to align it properly. First of all, just align these connecting pads. Once this connecting pad is aligned, gently press this on your rear bezel, and then align the both of end of this antenna and gently press on your back bezel. Now this GPS antenna is placed back. Oh, I have missed this double-sided tape, so now it's time to place back this back cover. Before that, I am taking out this sticker that is hiding my IMEI number. Now place back this back cover and gently press through all of the end of this phone. Once you are happy with this alignment, put the SIM tray back. Yeah, now SIM tray is entered. Now gently press this power button to turn on your Nexus 5. The touch is working. Now I will show you the camera. The front camera is working. You will find there is no problem with this front camera. Actually, I have broken the epoxy, that is epoxy between this camera lens and the sensor. Rest of this camera is working properly. This completed the disassembly and assembly of this Google Nexus 5. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. The subscription link is shown on your screen. For more video on this phone, keep watching BCD Tech.